Hey, this is Jay with Too Hot Media, and today we have a very special guest. We have the owner of the establishment that we're sitting in today. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but we have the Blacklist Network's very own
Tiffany Boozer. And yes, I am the founder, I guess you will, of the Blacklist Network. And this particular space is a part of one of the legs of the Blacklist Network.
Okay. So, to dive a little bit deeper, for the people who don't know who you are as of yet, can you tell us, how old you are, where you from, and your professional title?
Sure. So, I am from a very, very, very small town, but it's not a one horse small town, but it's a small town, but don't get it twisted. It's not a caution light town.
Okay.
So it's Clinton, South Carolina, is where I'm
Where
from.
is that?
So it's in Lawrence County, or if you're from there, is Lawrence, Lawrence County. Actually, it's like heading toward Greenville.
Okay,
So right past
helps.
Newberry, but before you get to Greenville, so right up in there. So I'm from a one horse town. I moved to Columbia as a teenager. I was in high school when my mama decided we getting out of this one horse town, and we came to Columbia. So I've been in Columbia for 20 years. 24 years I've been in Columbia at this point because I graduated in '05. So that is a little bit about me on that end. Professionally, I am a CPA, which is a certified public accountant. For those who may not know what that is, go back and listen to Biggie's track where he said, "My accountant handles that." So it's an accountant. It's just, I call it the doctors of the numbers because the CPAs are the only folks who can sign off on the health or the financial health of a business. So kind of like being the doctor, you can write scriptions and whatnot. So yeah, I've been an accountant for many years. I specialize in audit, so I'm an auditor. Probably somebody most people don't want to see.
Yeah.
Generally, all in your business. I kind of like asking questions. It's kind of my thing. So, real life Inspector Gadget here.
I was about to say, you should have been an inspector, maybe a detective. Y'all better watch out. Don't
My
get
favorite
audited.
cartoon growing up was Inspector Gadget. I don't know if you old enough to know that, but
Inspector Gadget.
Hoo-hoo. So yeah, so Inspector Gadget was my junk. So I'm low key a
Awesome.
real life Inspector Gadget.
When I get stuck in traffic, I still wish I had those go gadget,
Come
whatever it
on,
was
go,
to
Gadget,
go up
go.
and over. Look, yeah, we there.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so with that being the case, I'm going to take you back a little bit
Sure.
because, like you said, a lot of people may not even know what a CPA is. So, with that being the case, what was your first job before you actually became a CPA? Did you have a first job?
Like my first job in real, like total.
Ever?
Oh, my first job was at Sonic. I was a car hop. Let's go.
Wait, with or without the skates?
With skates.
What?
Because you see, in my day, I don't know if it's still the same, but
I don't think
the
so.
skaters made more money than the non-skaters. Like you already got waitress pay, if you will,
Yeah.
but the skaters actually got a little bit more than the non-skaters. And being that your girl can skate,
Yeah.
put me on them wheels, please. So my
I
very
did not
first
know
job was
that.
Sonic. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, you ever fall?
Huh?
You ever fall?
I could skate really good.
Okay. With stuff in your hands like that?
Yeah, it was low key kind of fun, actually.
I bet it was.
It was low
rolling
key. Yeah, you just
around.
rolling around and you just skating everywhere. It was great.
That's
I
dope.
enjoyed it.
Okay, well that answers my next question. Did you like it?
I did. Yes.
Okay, so what other jobs did you hold before you were a CPA?
My friends pick on me about this real bad. I don't know if you want to take this route because I'm one of them people. If you remember Cool Runnings from back in the day.
The guys that were they did the ice sledding,
Yeah,
right?
because I'm a bad mother who take no stuff off nobody.
I'm done. Oh, I'm done. No, she didn't. The quote.
Like, I will leave a job in a heartbeat. Like, it's not, I don't consider it a bad thing. I consider it,
You
When
know
it,
your worth.
I'm okay with leaving a place. Like, so if I like it, I'll be there for a while. But if it gets weird, chucking up the deuces, because you don't have to. I mean, we as a millennial, we don't have to take anything. Like, I know our parents stayed on a job forever, but
Ever.
because they paved the way for us, like, we literally don't have to take nothing off nobody.
That
And
is true.
so I don't think I better go down the road with the number of jobs I've had in my lifetime, because we're going to run out of paper. In fact, it's so bad. One of my friends was like, I need you to make a list. And this was about 5 years ago, maybe 6. Could be more than that. And that page was like a lot of stuff. And she was like, this is insane. So yeah, give me something a little bit more like the old people say, Pacific.
Overstood, because I am the same way. If I don't feel like I am reaching my potential or getting anywhere in the position that I'm in, I'm looking for the next opportunity.
Growth is a must. I have to
Yeah.
be learning and growing. I can't do the black hole jobs.
Yeah, no.
If I get there and I feel like it's black hole or black hole like,
Yes.
I'm out. In fact, prior to my current role, which I love, BTW, so I'll be there a while, guys. I love my current role. Prior to my current role, I worked for another space, a
Okay.
place. I worked for
Okay.
another place, and it very much gave black hole. Like, it was no growth. It partially kind of felt like my boss was a little bit intimidated by me for whatever reason. I don't even know. And it was very much a place that just, they weren't open to new ideas. It was old. It was antiquated. It was very much still water. And so if I have the perception that it's still water will kill you. Everybody, I'm not even a camper. And I know that you cannot drink from still water. Still water will kill you. So I just can't be in still water. I was literally there for 4 months.
Don't feel bad.
This was right before this current job. So I mean, I'm a whole grown adult. This ain't like 20-year-old. This is like
Yeah.
37-year-old me.
Like, you
Just
still about that.
still about that life.
Still about that
Like, you
life.
don't feel like you're too old and you need to stay put because you're older and more mature. No, I literally walk and live by faith in everything. I'm stepping out. Like, I might have something set up. I might not,
Yeah.
but I know I'm gonna be okay. So
I feel that. This is God right here. Man, this is meant to be. Okay. So let me move on to my next question then. I'm going to address this because I feel like me being a person of color, I haven't seen a whole lot, or met for one, a lot of Black or female accountants. You get what I'm saying? So just for anybody else that may be curious, what made you go into the direction of being an accountant?
So I'm gonna tackle the first part first, and that's a real place, because in 2020, the last statistics I looked at as it relates to CPAs, Black CPAs, whether they're female or male, only made up about 3% in the whole US. So this role that I do is a very much unicorn role as it relates to Black people. Not sure why, but it's a very much. And when you break down that 3% to how many are men, if you meet a Black male CPA, the day that you meet him, play the lottery, because you met a unicorn.
That's crazy. I thought I would have met a male CPA before I met a female.
You will meet a female first.
Wow.
And then you'll meet a male. And so when you come across those male CPAs, just go get a scratch off that same day. Whatever.
I feel like I need to get one today.
You got a unicorn, you got leprechaun type experience. It could be a pot of gold at the very end of that rainbow. Yeah, because it's very few and far between. So, as a CPA, you work in a world. It's a white male dominated world. So just career wise, you spend a lot of time in rooms that are not, curated with you in mind, which is why that's one of the reasons why the Blacklist Network came about in the first place, is because I wanted to create spaces for people like myself who professionally, you're in rooms that's not curated with you in mind. Not to say you don't, so anybody can come to a Blacklist Network event. It's just, it's curated with a Black professional in mind. So that piece, answers that part. And then how did I land here in the first place?
Yeah.
I talked about this with somebody, children. Like, I think it's as parents, it's so important to recognize gifts and talents that your child have that that may be a little different from what you used to seeing. Because of that, I kind of didn't know that I was really good at math. Like, so math was always my number one subject. Like, just but in my household, everybody else was pretty good at math too. So it kind of didn't stand out to me. So if you asked me when I was a kid if I want to do something with numbers, in my mind, because nobody's struggling with it in my house, I thought that everybody could do math this way. Like, I didn't even know I could sing, y'all. Like,
What?
because I thought everybody could do it.
Because the whole house can?
No, the whole house couldn't, but I guess we didn't sing together, so it really wasn't until I even got to middle school and the teacher asked me to. I was in chorus, asked me to sing a particular line, and I was just jamming and singing, and everybody was like, they call me Tip in my hometown. They were like, "You can sing, Tip," and I'm like, "What you mean sing? Like, can't everybody like hit these like do that note again? I'm do the note," and they like. No, I can't do that. So I didn't know. So I'm saying all that to say that when you see things as a teacher or if you have the opportunity to be around of kids, you might think it's minute, you might think it's nothing to it. But if you see something, say something. Like, because they may not be hearing it in their household. So I didn't know I was good at math. And it wasn't until I originally started out with a nursing major. I did that for a year and a half. So I didn't fail fast by any stretch of imagination. Like, I got to this one class and was like, this is not my life. I'm not trying to do this. In pharmacology, what it was. And I got out and then I changed my major to exercise science because I'm like, I'm pretty athletic. I can do, I can be a physical trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ended up changing because as I was setting up my classes for for the semester, I was in with my advisor and he said, look at this list and pick out a elective. So I'm looking at the list and it's got like, theater, chorus, stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, none of this stuff is exciting. Electives. Yeah. And I was like, none of this is really, I really don't want to do none of them. And I was like, do you have any math classes available? Stick me in one of those. Like, that'll be great. And the advisor was like, what? I said, you don't have no like calculus, no algebra, a little bit of trig, something, whichever one you have available, throw me in that class.
A little bit of trig.
Yeah. And he was like, he sat there like bewildered. He was just like, what's your major? And I was like, it's exercise science right now. He's like, no. He said, you need to go reconsider your major. He said, nobody asked for math classes for funsies. It wasn't until he said that I'm like, wait, when I think back, I've always excelled, like super excelled in math. And so then I did what he said, went and looked at some majors that related to numbers and looking at the list, I was like, dang, I ain't trying to be no math teacher because them kids, I can't be in there with them kids. And ended up picking accounting and ended up taking my first accounting course. And I'm like, oh, this is it. So it really kind of chose me, but maybe if somebody had pointed out earlier on, like your skill in math is not normal, like, but it was never pointed out to me. But I guess it was pointed out in the time that it needed to be pointed out. But still, I'm like, now that I think about it, I was always the top math student. Like, I'm in the top 3, 5 in all of my classes, but I didn't know.
I see.
So it kind of shows me.
Okay.
So I said all that to say, if you see something in a kid, don't assume that they know that that's special. Tell them.
Okay. Very well said. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What exactly do you do on a day-to-day basis? Like, what does your job actually look like? I know a lot of times people they'll hear a job title, but nobody really understands what you may entail or actually do. Things may sound good.
Yeah.
But what is it?
Okay. So the role that I'm in now, like I said before, my history has been auditing, right? And auditors are folks who, for example, again, you have financial health of a business, right? And you have financial statements, if you will, right? So you have a bill of health. Let me put it that way. So
Okay.
you have a bill of health, and you know how like when you go get screenings and stuff, and they'll say, "Oh, your iron levels are here.
Yeah.
Your cholesterol is here." So that's kind of like what a financial statement is. Okay, your assets are here. Like, okay, you have this much money coming in, or your liabilities are here. You got this much going out, or that's promised to other people. Oh, and this is how much you have bottom line. So it's kind of taking the assets, liabilities, and your retained earn, and just kind of breaking it down as if it was, hey, your iron is here, your cholesterol is here,
Gotcha.
and so basically what the auditor does is go in and in the numbers that matter. We call it material, but in the numbers that matter, we want to basically research that number and make sure that it's accurate.
Okay.
Like, does it make sense? Are you guys including things in iron that should be on the cholesterol line? Like, so it's like, because it's
Ah.
rules to this thing, right? It's rules to what financial health is. 'Cause like, so the rule may be if it's if it's this, it should be in the line with iron. Like, yeah, if
Gotcha.
it's this vitamin, it should be in the line. You see what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
kind of just trying to break it down in layman's terms. Like, so basically that auditor is coming in to assess the financial health of that business and sign off on it to say, hey, if you as an investor are interested in investing in this company, we check them out, they're healthy. Or if they are like doing all kind of stuff and reporting all types of stuff wrong, we may say, hey, this person don't do it because they didn't pass their financial test, so
Yeah.
they're not a healthy company. So you enter in at your own risk if you want to put money into this company. So that's kind of what a CPA does. Now my role today, I'm no longer functioning as an auditor. I'm more so functioning as, well, I guess kind of like a internal auditor slash consultant type. So basically what my role is now is to ensure that my current company or agency that I work for, make sure that what we're doing is up to par so that when the outside auditors come in, we are considered healthy. So I'm kind of helping us
Gotcha.
internally of like, oh, we need to fix this, we need to fix that. This will be a good place for us to do some work in. We need to write up some procedures. We need to fix this. This is not being reported correctly. Stuff like that so that we'll be prepared for the external doctors.
Okay. Well,
So
that answered
kind
my
of,
question.
yeah, I hope that it's kind of fun because if you are interested in like, if you're a person that likes to like dig into things and research,
Yeah.
because originally as a kid I wanted to be an investigator, like because I always just like digging into stuff.
Yeah.
But then I realized I'm too soft.
Gotcha.
The moment Pookie get killed and I got the doggone investigate his, I'm gonna be in there
Yeah.
hollering with the family. Oh wow, Pookie, no, oh my God, no. I don't have the heart
That makes
for
sense.
that. So
It
now
makes
I'm kind
sense.
of an investigator, but of numbers. They don't have no kind of,
Yeah, it's logic. You don't have
yeah.
to worry about the emotions
It's
or
not emotional
anything.
at all. It's not emotional at all.
Okay,
So
overstood.
yeah.
Okay, so that leads me to my next question. So you are employed with a company. Have you ever thought about contracting for yourself, or do you contract out your services, to others? Something to think about, huh?
You're not too far off. I do have a shell company.
Okay, okay, okay. I've heard that on
However,
TV only.
however, the way my life's set up, on paper it exists,
Mm-hmm.
right? And on paper, I am an approved governmental contractor on paper.
Mm-hmm.
But the way my life's set up, I don't have time to contract out
Gotcha.
my services at this point. Like, it's too many moving pieces for me. And even just managing this studio is just like, Lord,
Yes.
like, it's just, you only one person. So maybe later I'll revisit that. But right now it's just a business on paper because I sure ain't
Gotcha.
done nothing with it.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
With that being the case, if you did decide to, ever contract out your services, what would be your ideal client? Or who would be
Oh,
your ideal client?
if I were to do it as a if that's my role, that's my job, I
Mm-hmm.
would definitely want to work with as a more of an internal auditor. So basically, in terms of who the client is, don't really care. Just pay the bill.
Gotcha. All right. All right.
So I don't have an ideal client, but it will be someone that I may be coming into to kind of help them prepare for their external auditors. Because I really like that internal audit role because I feel like it gives you more touches with the people and it kind of gives you more freedom to help them get their stuff together. Not just like the externals, just tell them what they need to
Got
get
you.
together, but it helps them so I can get in there and get my hands dirty and
Actually
really
build a
come up with
relationship.
processes and come up with stuff that's going to help them. So I like that more than just, oh, you need to fix your iron levels.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay. So how hard was it getting started once you actually got your degree and whatnot? How hard was it getting started with, I guess finding the position and then actually, acing the job? I think you said you had one before this one.
Yeah, that one. So that might be another thing to make note of because becoming a CPA, it used to be they just recently changed the rules. You had to now have 150 credit hours, meaning you have to have at least 6 hours of grad level courses for you to even sit for the CPA exam. And so the CPA exam is a 4-part exam, kind of like the bar, if you will.
Oh, wow.
So you have to, it is brutal. So it's almost as if kind of like other industries where there are barriers to entry that are designed to basically keep it exclusive and keep people out, if you will, or
Yeah.
just to force a next level of learning to get there. So here you have, I finished undergrad. I had no intentions of going back to grad school. I was done because I done already fought a good fight. It took me 6 years to finish my bachelor's degree. Remember, I told you I did a year and a half. And so I wasn't trying to go back, but getting into the accounting field ended up, the entry was so difficult with a bachelor's degree. It's like you literally couldn't do nothing with a bachelor's degree. So I ended up having to go back to school, get my master's. And then because I'm a big component, if I'm gonna do a thing, I need to be at the top of whatever it is. Like if I'm on a scale, if I'm gonna go out here and go hiking, then I'm going to the top of Mount Everest. There's no need for me to be. So if I can't be at the top, I don't want to do it. So
That
with
makes
that
sense.
mind frame, I knew the top of the accounting field was CPA. So all right, we're gonna get this master's degree. And then we're gonna scale Mount Everest. And Lord knows it was literally Mount Everest scaling the CPA. So once you open up that door, then everything just started falling into place in terms of, getting a role. It was much easier after
Doing that hard part.
getting the test done. And then even after you get the test done, you have to direct report to another CPA for a year before you can get licensed. So it's a whole process to get there. So but I like to think it's worth the fight.
Yeah. I mean, most things are, if they are difficult, it does pay off in the end. And to circle back at what you said about the bachelor's degree, it's seeming that all or most things now you can't just have an associate's anymore. You have to have a bachelor's or a master's, even for customer service.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's getting crazy to the point where they expect you to have a bachelor's degree to do over the phone customer service.
Stop playing.
I'm not playing. I don't know what happened. I don't know if all this online stuff got everybody certified to do things and they were like, man, let's just up the bar a little bit.
I know you lying.
I'm not lying. So where certain customer service jobs and the pay is still trash.
They want you to have a bachelor's for somebody to get on your absolute last nerve.
Have a bachelor's to
because
be
I
a
started out in customer service while I was in school.
We all did.
While I was in school, customer service was paying the bills.
Yes. But it is ridiculous now. And if you don't have a bachelor's, they expect you to have something more than a high school diploma just for customer service. And it's like $13 an hour. It's
That's
tragic
crazy
out here.
That's beyond tragic.
It is. So that's why I find myself going back to school, because I did have my associates because I didn't want to commit to, an actual just one career. I wasn't sure what I wanted to commit to. And now that I feel like I know, and I'm gonna go back for my bachelor's, it's like by the time I'm done, will I need a master's?
Oh gosh,
Will I need a master's?
that's a real place and a real question. Because
I'm
the way it's
afraid.
set up, it's just weird.
It is. It is. So this gives me hope, but it lets me know that either way, it's going to be rocky. It's going to be rough. You're going to have to eat that frog, get that part over with so
Yeah.
that everything else is easy. So,
It's gonna definitely be a
yeah.
battle, be a fight.
Yes.
Because if it was
indeed.
easy, everybody would be doing it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's see. How far do you see yourself taking this career? Like, where do you see
To the
yourself?
wheels fall.
Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, how far are you trying to take this thing?
I was talking to a friend of mine some time ago about that question. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Y'all, when I tell you, I literally live by faith. Like, I don't know.
That's a real question.
I
That's a real answer.
really can't
I
give you
appreciate that.
nothing. Like, I was literally minding my business, trying to find a space to shoot a podcast episode. And the Lord said, no, just start your own studio. Excuse me, sir. I have a kid in college and I pay tuition. Not sure if you knew that, but yeah,
wow.
I was telling him, like, I'm not sure if you know that I'm just playing. Like, I do,
But
I do
care
pay
though.
Like, when he say step out, like, literally this was I was looking for a space to shoot a podcast in like September of 2024. I signed the lease on this place December of 2024. So like, you when you live a life of faith, you don't know where you're gonna be. You following a word. And so I really don't have an answer for you because word can come today and come tomorrow. It can be anything. I was minding my business, just trying to find some place to shoot the episode, and here we are.
No, I feel that. You're making your own chapter in the Bible right now. I feel that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
so check back.
I will. We're gonna come back to her.
Circle back
later and see what happened.
Circle back.
See what God has in store for her.
Circle back. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna get a little personal. If you feel uncomfortable answering the question,
I'm an open book. The windows of my soul are open.
Awesome. So just for the people out there that are listening, and they may also be good with numbers and never thought like to actually get into a role like that. How much money are you making now compared to what you were making before you made the commitment to actually go into this role?
Before I went into this role, or are you talking about as a CPA? You're like
as
going
a CPA
into
in general.
Okay. So let's give you some math, right? So I was in customer service. I was in customer service, and your girl made about $15 some change. $15 some change. Now, don't. I'm not trying to minimize that because when if you think about the concept of the 2 fish and the 5 loaves, it may sound like a little bit, right? So don't minimize whatever it is that you're making, because God can put his super on your natural, right? And expand the thing that you make. Because here's the thing, it sounds so small, but I bought my house with that.
Because you know
salary.
how to do that, apparently.
I bought my house with that.
And 5 loaves.
I was only making $27,000 a year when I bought my first house.
The 4 fish and the 5 and the 4 loaves. Hold on. What is that?
Okay, so when you talk, that's a story in the Bible.
Okay.
Of when Jesus feeds the 5,000. This is a little boy who they didn't have enough food. They didn't have any food to feed all of these people. And so it was a little boy standing nearby, and he had 2 fish and 5 loaves, and he was headed home. And one of the disciples like, well, we ain't got no food, and it's going to take a lot of money to feed these folks, but we do got this little boy here with 2 fish and 5 loaves. And then Jesus prayed over the 2 fishes and the 5 loaves, and then he just started handing it out to the disciples to disperse among the people, and it was enough. Like, so God supernaturally expanded what the small thing
He
that
made it work.
yeah, so he supernaturally expanded it, and so the 5,000 people were able to be fed with 2 fish and the 5 loaves.
You bought a house on
2 fish and 5 loaves.
and you were only getting paid
$15
an
and some
hour.
change. Yeah. 2 fish and 5 loaves. So I'm saying that as in, like, not to discount starting small or don't feel like I can't do a thing because I don't make enough. That's not true. You don't have enough faith. You might not. I told you I live a life of faith. Like, this is real. This is
inspiring.
This is definitely this is my real life. Like, no, I really mean that thing. I will quit a job and I won't have one tomorrow. Like, and he literally had me walk up out of a place, 2 years ago.
And he will make a way.
And I was like, Lord, hold up, wait. He was like, you can go now. At the time, I was in the process of waiting for an offer letter from my new job. He's like, you can go now. And I was like, Lord, I'm still waiting on that offer letter. Like, what you talking about? And I followed instructions and just left. And so, anyway, long story short, it ended up being a 4-month break before I got my newer job because we kind of had some negotiation challenges with the other job. So I ended up being off for 4 months. But I didn't miss a beat, though.
Yeah.
Didn't miss a beat. And it ended up being, I call it a sabbatical. And I ended up saying, like, wow, God, I literally need one of these like every couple of years.
Yeah.
But to go back to, so I was making $15 some change to now, fast forward to now post CPA, post masters, making over 6 figures.
Wow.
I definitely make 6 figures. Went from $15 some change to over 6 figures.
She bought a house.
But I bought the house with $15 and change.
Is she good with numbers or what? Do y'all need her number or what? Does she need to be a contractor or what?
I can't even take no credit for that other than just when I say living by faith, like that's a real thing. Can I tell you a little bit of story how I ended up buying the house?
Please. All ears.
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy.
Might be, but you need that type of crazy to make things
You
happen.
need crazy faith.
Yes.
So, real quick story. So, out of nowhere, I was like praying because I lived at home with my parents. And I was like, God, it's time for me to go. I was 25 years old. Mm-hmm. Like, God, it's time for me to go. Like, I really need my own place. And I just, I didn't know that you can, at the time, I was pretty new to being a Christian. Mm-hmm. I think I was like a year in. I didn't know you can just ask God for stuff. Like, I didn't know.
Like, just ask? Or
like for whatever.
Like, how do you ask?
I was like, God, I really want to buy a house. Like, I want, can you get me a house? Like, I'm ready to go.
Like, you just asked for a house, or were you like specific in what you were asking
I wasn't even specific. I was just like, God, it's time for me to go. I really want my own space and I want to buy a house. Can you help me buy a house? Mm-hmm. Right. So shortly thereafter, I'm asleep. And this is going to sound real bananas, but when you have that real deep relationship with God, you will know, and this won't sound crazy, he will literally wake you up in the middle of the night and just be, I used to sleep with a notebook under my pillow because when I fall asleep, that's when class is in session. And he would be telling me so much in my sleep that I would just scribble notes. And when I woke up and I'll be able to like, what was he talking about last night? And I was asleep. So anywho, I was asleep. And he wakes me up. He's like, turn the TV on. And I can hear God when, the way I'm talking to you now is God talks to me this way. So just hear me out. Follow me.
Listen.
So anyway, he wakes me up. He's like, get up. And I was like, Lord, it's like 3:00 in the morning. Like, what is it? He's like, turn the TV on. And I was like, I know you lying. But of course I did it. Turn the TV on. He's like, just keep flipping. So I'm flipping the TV. I'm like, what am I even looking for? Like, what is this? And he's like, just keep flipping. I turned the TV. I told you I was a brand new Christian. I didn't grow up church. So I don't know nothing about nothing. Like everything I experienced is real. I don't know religion. I'm not a religious person because I don't know religion. I have a relationship. So I don't.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
cool. He's telling me to stop. It's this white man on TV. I've never seen him before. I'm new to Christian. I don't know nothing about this. This white man on TV is talking, and he's like, he was talking about the scripture that where God says, all the gold is mine, all the silver is mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about land, and he was like, if you don't own, if you are the king's kid, because good fathers leave an inheritance for their kids. He's like, if you are the king's kid and you don't have land, you don't have any piece of land to say is yours,
Mm-hmm.
like you should get mad because you the king's kid. This is the land is his, the gold is his, the silver is his. Why don't you have a piece of that when you're the king's kid? You ought to get mad. And I was sitting, I was like, hold up. First of all, I'm mad. Okay. Because Lord, I don't own nothing. Like
Right.
I got a car. And so I'm getting mad. I'm sitting there and he goes on to say, if you are believing God for a house, he said, I'm going to challenge you to sow a seed, right? I'm going to challenge you to sow $1,000 seed. He said, and if you don't have $1,000 to your name, like right now, you should get mad. Again, all the gold is his, all the silver is his, and you don't have $1,000. He's like, you ought to be mad. I'm in there like 38 hot. I'm like, I don't have 1,000. I got $200 to my name. And so God says, well, just call the number on there and just come. And then the guy says, in fact, he's like, if you don't have it, I'm going to challenge you to just call in, commit to it. And over time, just pay a little bit on it until you do what you committed to do. And I was like, okay. God's like, call the number. I'm like, okay, call it. I'm like, God, I'm giving money to the TV. Like,
Right.
it's crazy. I hear about these TV preachers, but whatever. I call, I give the $200. When I tell you by Friday, this was like by the end of the week, I had the other 800. I got like this I got this random check in the mail that I was not even expecting. Like I was like, not you just randomly, okay. So I get this random check. I send the other 800 to it. The moment I drop that check in the mail, because he said, if you believe in for a house, if you believe in God to buy a house, sow a seed. So the moment I dropped that thing in the mail, I have I journal. So I wrote a journal entry on. I couldn't explain it. I was like, something happened when I dropped that thing in the mail. Like, I don't know what happened. Something happened. Not even months later, my church was doing a home buying workshop. Went to the home buying workshop. God told me to take off because they do it in the daytime. I went to the home buying workshop. Get there, they're talking about grants that if you buy a house in Richland County, they'll give you grant money to as a down payment.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm like, okay, well, he literally threw this in my lap. Let me go to the class. Go to the class. Long story short, I got approved for $10,000 down payment assistance if I bought a house in Richland County. Use that. In this class, they have like, lenders and realtors and all these people telling you about the home buying process. Also, the guy who was representing the lending company at the time, it was called Homeowners. I don't know what it is now. They had a promotion going on at the time. For every $1,000 you brought to the table, they gave you $4.
Do that math for us.
Come on. So I ended up getting with them, got approved to get a loan with them. I had $10,000 from the grant program. I brought $2,000. Homeowners gave me $8,000. That's $20,000 that I did not have to come up with from a seed by faith that I sowed that I didn't I sold $200. I brought $2,000 and got $20,000.
Wow. How blessed are you? That is crazy.
Yeah. And so ended up getting my house. And guess what? This happened during when the banks were, the housing crisis.
Yeah.
So I was able, my house was a foreclosure. My house was a foreclosure. It was 6 years old when I bought that house. So it's practically a brand new house. I had $20,000 that I didn't even have to pay for. But here's the big kicker, because when you blessed and when God is involved, stuff don't make sense. You know how much that house was?
How much?
$85,000.
Really?
4-bedroom,
What?
2-bath,
What?
2-car garage.
What?
6 years old.
What?
Don't tell me about my guy. Can't nobody tell me about. He turned that $15 and some change
Yes.
into a blessing that I'm still walking in. I ain't moved. We want to buy your house, not this one.
4 fish and 4 loaves.
Yeah.
4 loaves.
Yeah, 2 fish, 5 loaves.
5
That's it.
loaves.
Yeah.
4 fish, 5
So he can
loaves.
expand the small when you bring it to him in faith. He expanded my $200 literally into a blessing that I'm still walking and living in today.
That is wow.
You moving? No, I'm staying where I'm at.
I'm inspired.
Yeah.
Y'all should be inspired.
Come on.
I'm inspired.
And this was at the time I didn't know who that preacher was on the TV.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a very renowned preacher. I haven't watched his stuff in years at this point, but it was Mike Murdoch. At the time, I was like, I don't know this man from a can of paint. Well, he is actually a very well-known pastor.
That's not the one that went to jail in Texas.
No,
with the super church or the mega church. Okay, great.
Nah, it was Mike Murdoch. For those of you who may be in around, you know Mike is the wisdom pastor. And yeah, so he was the random man that I didn't know who it was that was on the TV who was like, you ought to get mad, sow a seed.
Wow.
And my pastor would teach, if you have a need, sow a seed. So, because God can work with what you give him by faith. Like he works with your faith. So if you by faith saying, I'm going to put this in the ground, God, this is what I'm believing to see. And you believing to see it. He moves by faith. Your faith produced. My faith produced.
That is beautiful.
So, yeah. So from $15 and some change to 6 figures paying a mortgage of $15 and some change.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Basically paying a $15 and change mortgage. Living my best life.
Well, now here's my next question then.
Sure.
So when did you realize you also held the capacity to become an entrepreneur?
During the sabbatical. Because prior to the sabbatical, I was in public accounting. And if anyone who knows anything about public accounting, you don't have capacity because you're working 60-hour weeks regularly. Wow. Like in my case, about for a good 4 months, 5, 6, you're going to work that about 6 months out of the year, and then you're going to be working a lot the rest of the year. So you don't have capacity to do anything outside of
what you're
doing in public accounting. Like it's notoriously going to work you a lot of hours.
Wow.
So yeah, it wasn't until sabbatical that it was during sabbatical that the Blacklist Network was born. It was during sabbatical that my accounting shell was born.
That is interesting.
I ain't doing nothing with it, but it was born.
It's happening. I'm telling you, I think it's forming.
It'll come back around. It's just right now, I want to get this space to where I want it to be.
All right. So given we were talking about free time, how you said you were working in public accounting, I think you said, you didn't have much of any time for yourself. You're working like 60 hours a week and everything. So with that being said, how much time do you actually have to yourself now?
I actually have a good bit of time to myself now because now I'm out here being an EN, not a YN, but a EN for empty nester. So I have a lot of time, if you will, like availability, but it's not really free because when I'm not doing this, I'm working on editing. And I told you that is that's a lot.
Tedious
and then,
thing.
I just be outside with friends. So between that,
I mean, it's important to enjoy life now.
But overall, I have a lot of free time.
Okay. What exciting things do you have coming up for your business? I don't know if you are one of those people that are like, I don't want to speak on it. Or if you're like, you know what, I'll speak on it. Like I'm going to speak it into existence.
I do have some exciting things coming. One I will share is the podcast dropping on August the 1st. So I am excited about that. That's been, again, this studio came out of me starting a podcast, but I couldn't quite find a place that aesthetically matched what I was looking for. So kind of that. As far as other things, just stay tuned. Just stay tuned.
Awesome. All right. All
Yep.
right. Do you have any advice for any other black women, black boys and girls, anybody that's watching right now, that may feel stuck in what they're doing, and maybe are, I don't want to say looking for a mentor, but are, looking for a way out of what they're currently going through right now?
My biggest advice is I'm finna sound like a preacher real bad. But I wouldn't be where I am without my faith. It was God that told me to go back to school. It was God told me to take the CPA exam. I was settled with just doing the bachelor's, but then I was running to a black hole because I wasn't getting nowhere. So most importantly, like God didn't create life for us to do it alone. And plus, you don't have the perspective, you don't have enough vision, you don't have enough knowledge, you don't have enough nothing really to do it without him. So, most importantly, take God from God in the sky and bring him into God in your life. Like, he says in John 14, I will not leave you as orphans. He never intended for us to do life like without him. So, step one, you're going to remain living under the curse of Adam, as he said, by the sweat of your brow will you eat from the land. So you can either continue to live by the sweat of your brow, trying to come up with your own ways to eat, your own way of providing for self, and you're going to work yourself to death. Or you can take them 4 fish, 5 loaves, put them in his hand, and he can make it expand. You see what I'm saying? I put the $15 change in his hand, and he made it bigger because it wasn't nothing I could have done in the natural that could have got me the results that I got. So most importantly, take God from the sky and bring him into your life. Like, do whatever you need to do. Call whoever you need to call. Show up to whatever church you need to show up with. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I don't do life by myself. And I look like a winner, but I'm really a wiener. And the Lord just telling me what to do because I really don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Do anybody know what they're doing for real? Like, so that would be the most important piece. And beyond that, my next thing is, I have this quote on the wall, and it's on the wall for a reason in this space. It's on here for a reason. It's because this quote is what kept me going. I asked God, why is it so hard? Like, why can't, many people struggle with finishing, right?
Yeah.
You start something and then it's like, I get overwhelmed and I can't. And I said, God, what is the hardest part of finishing? He said, continuing. And when he gave me that, it changed my perspective. So continue is the biggest thing I can tell you. Like, if that's the goal, if that's where you're trying to go, it don't matter how tough the going get, because it's gonna get tough trying to scale Mount Everest, because people die on it all the time. But keep moving, keep pushing, and surround yourself with like-minded people. You may be struggling because you're around crabs. You might need to change your environment. You may need to get around people that you don't want to be around people that's on your level only, because where is your growth going to come from? Surround yourself with people who are maybe ahead of you, like, give you some goals, who can speak life into you. Like, so I just think continue. So just to sum them up, Jesus, continuing, and your environment, the people you're around. So those 3 things I believe will create that motion and the movement. Like I said, still water will kill you. So you need to be in motion. You need to be in water that's moving. So if you're around people who just content with just going to work every day, go home, and they ain't trying to be a better version of themselves. And I'm not saying you got to be, everybody got to be a hustler, but if they're not working on being a better version of themselves, that's still water. It will kill you. Keep it pushing. Like, so I think those are probably the 3 top things that I would recommend to get up and do it, because you can do it. You able, you capable. You can do it. You got it. Just do it. And cry in the process. You can probably shed a bunch of tears because the going get tough, but just go ahead and cry and keep it pushing. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I appreciate this interview. This definitely needed to happen. And I hope you all appreciate this as well. And that concludes our interview.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much, Miss
having me. This was
Tiffany.
great. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
You did a good job.